Now, what the model has done, it has created a culture, it is a culture of corruption because people set up companies just to get a contract and then they get whites to front for them, for example. The second thing is also what they do is the same people get re-empowered, so the same people from company to company. Now, what it does, it excludes black South Africans who are genuinely entrepreneurs. They're not connected, they don't get the funding.
One particular quote from a recent discussion really hit home for me. Professor William Gumede of Wits School of Governance, in an article for the Sunday Times, highlighted a significant problem. What the model has done, it has created a culture. It has a culture of corruption because people set up companies just to get a contract and then they get whites to front for them, for example. This isn't just an academic observation, it's a stark reality many South Africans have witnessed firsthand. Professor Gumede's words precisely articulate how a policy designed for upliftment can be twisted into something that perpetuates inequality and stifles genuine progress. Let's break down what fronting truly means. It's an illegal practice where non-black individuals or companies are used to misrepresent a business as having genuine black ownership and control, purely to gain an advantage in BEE procurement. Imagine a scenario: a tender for a major construction project is put out by a government department. It has a significant BEE component, meaning a certain percentage of the contract value or ownership must be with black-owned entities. I remember a few years ago, working on a project in a rural community. There was a tender for developing local infrastructure, roads, water pipes, that kind of thing. A small, genuinely black-owned construction company, run by a passionate local entrepreneur, was bidding. They had the skills, the local knowledge, and the commitment to their community. But they kept losing out to larger, seemingly BEE-compliant firms. It eventually came out that one of these BEE companies was little more than a shell. The black director was a figurehead, paid a monthly fee, while the real decision-makers, the real beneficiaries of the profits, were white individuals from a pre-existing, well-established company. They essentially laundered their non-BEE status through this front. The local entrepreneur. They eventually gave up, unable to compete against these sophisticated, yet corrupt, schemes. This is not empowerment, this is exploitation under the guise of transformation. Another instance that always sticks with me involves the tech sector. A young, brilliant black software developer I know had an innovative idea for a community-based app. He needed seed funding and government support to scale. He navigated the complex BEE requirements, seeking genuine partnerships. Meanwhile, he saw tenders for IT infrastructure being awarded to companies where the black ownership was held by individuals with no tech background, no real operational involvement, and often, suspiciously high salaries for their limited roles. These BEE partners were essentially brokers, leveraging their status without adding any real value, innovation, or skills transfer. The result: the genuine tech startup struggled and eventually had to pivot significantly, losing precious time and market advantage. The government contracts, meanwhile, often saw inflated costs or subpar delivery because the primary motive wasn't quality or efficiency, but simply securing the tender through questionable means. This is the ethical decay Professor Gumede refers to, a system where legitimacy takes a back seat to manipulation. So, what's the real cost of this fronting and corruption? It's not just about a few politically connected individuals getting rich. It's about the staggering amount of development that could have happened had the system not been so fundamentally flawed. Imagine if that trillion rand, or even a significant portion of it, had genuinely gone into empowering a broad base of black South Africans. Housing, instead of a handful of individuals pocketing profits from large-scale housing tenders. Imagine genuinely black-owned construction companies, employing local labor, building quality, affordable homes in informal settlements across the country. We could have seen millions of people lifted out of squalor, creating stable communities and local economies. Education and skills: what if the funds funneled into fronting deals were redirected to supporting thousands of black students through university, especially in critical STEM fields? Or establishing vocational training centers in underserved areas, equipping young people with skills relevant to modern industries. This would create a truly empowered workforce, driving innovation and economic growth from the ground up. Small business and innovation: instead of fostering a culture of dependency on government contracts, imagine a robust ecosystem for genuine black entrepreneurs. Access to capital for truly innovative ideas, mentorship programs, and a level playing field where merit, not connections or sham ownership, determine success. Think of the new industries, the localized solutions, the job creation that could have bloomed. This isn't just wishful thinking. Countries that have successfully addressed inequality and built strong economies have often focused on creating an enabling environment for all citizens, empowering individuals through education, skill development, and genuine entrepreneurial opportunities. They haven't relied on a system that, in practice, becomes a magnet for illicit activity. BEE, in its purest form, is essential. But the current implementation, riddled with fronting and corruption, is hindering the very progress it was designed to achieve. We need a fundamental reset, as Professor Gumede suggests, a radical shift towards true, broad-based empowerment that genuinely transforms lives, rather than just enriching a select few. What do you think? Have you witnessed instances of fronting or corruption linked to BEE? What are your ideas for a more effective and equitable empowerment strategy in South Africa? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on critical issues. See you next time.